Oh no, we can't, 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 we cannot, Dawn, we cannot. We just gonna have to turn the cameras. Hold up, cause what's not finna happen is I'm not gonna break the rules. I'm not gonna break the rules. I was breaking the rules, you guys. That system cannot be in the cameras. Hello, 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 and welcome, 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 you guys. What is going on? And that just, look, it's just going to be what it's going to be today. It's going to be what it's going to be today. I got closet doors in it. What won't going to be in it is that computer. That's what won't going to be in it. Point blank and period. Wasn't going to happen. Wasn't going to happen. So I hope y'all have had a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. I had a very eventful and productive day. It was very eventful and productive, I'd say. You guys, this is Sylvie 414, and I am Sylvie, your rough edge lady. I'm just a little bit rough around the edges. Lady all the more. It is what it is. So, y'all know how I do. I just need my two. Y'all know how I do. I just need my two. And look, y'all, a little bit more boastfulness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A little bit more toot, cause I was still running around this joker like, today, right now, if I had to say anything, oh, y'all, look, I'm looking at me like, I didn't know I do that. I have never. All I'm trying to do is get to my music. All I did was open up YouTube, man. That's all I did is open up YouTube, and I am literally watching me live. That excites me, y'all. That excites me because I have never, like, on the home page. I'm on the home page again, going live, and I'm breathing. That's all I was saying, though. To not get distracted, because you all know me, I can get distracted too. Yay me, I just kind of want to right quick, y'all, right quick. Wait a minute, I don't even know how to make it do what it do. And look, then you do dumb stuff, trying to do good stuff. I can't even screen record. I don't even know how to make my jank do. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. I just wanted a screenshot. I just wanted a screenshot. Like your girl going live at the time she going live, watching her live. What I'm trying to do is go pull up my music. Because I didn't have that pulled up. But I had everything else pulled up though. But all I said that to say was that I am still mastering these emotions. I'm saying, y'all, the book of Maccabees ain't no joke. I think the fourth book is the one that really gets into the emotions and mastering them. But mastering the emotions, and it's daily, baby. It's daily. I was supposed to be going to post on the community page today. It's daily. Like, you don't always feel good. You don't always feel like you want to. You ain't always going to. The goal, welcome, y'all. Welcome. Y'all like, share, y'all subscribe. Come see your gal. Come sit with me for a split. The goal is to always keep pushing. The goal is to always keep pushing. If you got a day where you just don't nothing get done, because that was a day that you just struggled, you just had a day. But you don't want those to be the bulk of your days. Because then those days, those kind of days, rule you. And that's not a good rule. That's not a good rule, y'all. It's not a good rule. Y'all looking up. Like just moving. They moving, y'all. That's 2 years. That's 2 years. It's 2 years. IJS. Welcome, y'all. I'm just saying. 2 minutes. Can I get that? 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, all I need. 2 minutes, all I need. 2 minutes, yes indeed. 2 minutes, all I need. Let me get my time going on first. I'm going to put my microphone totally out of my hand. I'm going to put my phone totally out of my hand for 2 minutes because what happens is what happened last week. I'm not able, in 2 minutes, I can get in the zone, y'all, but I'm not able to do it if I'm trying to work against the grain. Holding this is work. Holding this is work while I'm in here trying to, do something different. So I'm about to put this on down because I want to get as many of these 2 minutes in as I possibly can because they go by quick. And here we go. And somebody told me to keep them up, so I'm keeping them up, buddy. We gonna keep them up. Told y'all, 2 minutes don't be no joke, man. 2 minutes don't be no joke. It goes by uber quick, you guys. Uber quick. That was not how any of that was supposed to work. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's my 2 minutes. Just my 2 minutes. And I'm good. Like y'all, the day got really, really hectic. It did. When I come up here and I talk about my day being hectic and I speak about being able to have mastered through it, I promise it's not a bragging tactic because mastering through hectic days is not an easy task for me all the time. I gotta clean my glasses. My flesh and my flesh, my lower energy, my lower vibrations, whichever word or phrase you'd like to put with it. Wanted to reach over there and get that hot Sprite. I'm just thirsty and I always forget to bring some water or some tea with me over here. And today it's not even in the room at all. It's totally out of the room. So I'm not going to get up. Nor am I going to give into that hot Sprite because when I do drink that Sprite, I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be very cold because I'm going to sit the can in the refrigerator so that it gets that way. I'm not going to drink it hot because I'm thirsty though. Mastering my mind. It is what it is. So I hope y'all have, like I said, had a wonderful week. A wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Like it's Monday, you guys. And tomorrow is my Monday. But tomorrow I start my dream schedule. And I am going to say that with pride. And I am going to move about as if it is my dream schedule. You feel? Hard as a let these know who I am. I'm about to go ham, is what they said. Hard as a let these know who I am. I'm about to go ham. Now, you heard? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So y'all see the title? Let's talk the truth about the CONTRAS. We still talking enigma, y'all. Because I said that the Most High was going to stick a pin in it. Pow! Here it go. We staying right here. And let me tell you something. Why I believe that the Most High confirms. See, the nosy part of me just want to stay in YouTube and watch what I'm doing. But if I watch what I'm doing, then I'm very, very distracted as to what I'm supposed to be doing. Anytime I see a new, it excites me. Like when I first saw one of my reels on the homepage, it excited me. Like I'm not even gonna never front. Like just like the night and day guy said, like if you on social media, people be like, y'all just trying to do that for clickbait, or y'all just trying to do that for likes and views. But generally, if you on social media, you are trying to build a platform. It just works better if people like it and view it. I'm just saying, it just makes sense to me. I'm just saying, it just makes sense to me. That was not supposed to happen. Any of that. None of that was supposed to happen. None of that was supposed to happen. I was trying to come out of it. And no, I wasn't trying to come out of it. But anywho, let me get where I'm supposed to be. So let me tell y'all why I believe that it was confirmed that Anima, we stick a pin in it. Because this phrase right here, where it is. One of the most interesting and provocative, let me break it down for you. Here you go. Causing annoyance, this is what provocative means. Causing annoyance, I put answer, but I know that it's anger. Anger or another strong, look, I did not spell check, y'all. I did not spell check, so forgive me. Causing anger or another strong emotion, especially deliberately. So Anima was here to ruffle feathers. Anima was here. This is that, I told you to step on some toes place where the Most High got me right now, that Anima. It is one of the most interesting and provocative archetypes we encounter in Jungian psychology. Anima, for you, my guys. Animas, for you, my ladies. Don't get mad. Get right. Suppose I could say. Because I ain't tell me to come here. I just be obedient. So, I got a few questions that I'd like to ask. And I'm going to say this like this. You have the ability and the capability to answer these questions anysoever how you choose. The onlyest person that you fool by lying about these questions is yourself. I won't even know the answers. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So I'm not going to know your answers. But if the highest energy levels, the highest vibration, the highest God power in your mind is where you desire to go, you're going to take this jank in. You feel me? You're going to ponder on that thing for a split. Because Sylvie like for you to ponder. Because Sylvie likes to ponder. That's too corny. I was going to say, are we going to be called the Ponderers? No, we're not. I'm still thinking about that. If y'all have some ideas about what we can be called over here in Sylvie's land, let me know. But See, y'all. Oh, question number one. Do you believe you're superior, special, unique, and expect others to recognize you as such? Do you believe your needs are more special than the needs of others? Is your self esteem enhanced by an idolized view of those in your circle? Do you choose all the best everything, the best doctors, the best restaurants, the best clothing stores, and then discredit when you're disappointed? Because I've come to find out that everything is not the best just because it's the most expensive. Because when I say the best, that's what I mean by that question. Value first, quality over quantity, the quantity of the amount that you spend for a thing, those things. Now, if your answer is yes to these questions, you may, my dear heart, suffer from narcissistic personality disorder, and your self-esteem may be invariably, let me break it down for you, invariably, in every case, in every occasion, always, your self-esteem is invariably fragile. Should I break that down for you? It'll break at the sound of the wrong word. And on we go. So I stated when we first started talking about anema that anema deals with the soul, but we're not talking about the soul. The article stated that we're not talking about the soul as understood metaphysically, like the soul that lives on beyond our life expansion or the physical existence of our life. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the inner part that animates us, or the part that makes us, the part that makes us make decisions, whether good, bad, or indifferent. The soul. So when I went in to do the research on that, I found an article that was speaking about Plato's take on the soul, and it stated that most scholars kind of combat, which most scholars are always combating over what they believe Plato's take on the soul consisted of. It said that most scholars believe that it was either form or particular. So the soul was either a form or the soul was particulars. Now, this particular article that I was reading, docs.lib.purdue.edu, so it's from Purdue University. They believe that there's a balance of the form and the particulars, which makes sense to me because when I went in to study a little more, basically the soul is that place between the outer world and that spiritual world. Between the outer world and the spiritual world, the soul sits. And if you believe that you're a spiritual being, and because the way it was taught to me coming up was almost like ignore the soul is bad, But in my study, I'm coming to understand the necessity of the soul and necessity of the spirit. The spirit is kind of a growth place. The soul is going to acquire these things. It's going to acquire knowledge. It's going to acquire experience. The spirit more so is apt to go and find some wisdom. Whereas the soul may want wisdom or it may not. both sides. So this article says that the soul moves in and out of changing and unstable reality while also maintaining the ability to grasp knowledge and acquire virtue. That's why I said you have the ability to do these things, but that's where you make the choice. Do I want to stay here? Or do I want to go here to these things that I've never experienced before? You know, those new things that we talked about last week. Do I want to go here where there's growth? Or do I want to stay here? If I stay here, I've already been here. If I stay here, it's going to be Groundhog's Day. I'll wake up here tomorrow. And I'll wake up here on tomorrow's morrow. And I'll wake up here on tomorrow's morrow. Y'all never seen Groundhog's Day? It's a good movie. You should go watch it. I like Bill Murray. Groundhog's Day. Now let's talk a little bit about why that enigma is so bothersome and so provocative. I like words and provocative. It's just a nice word. So bothersome and so provocative. Why? Because the psyche is such that it contains and embraces both the feminine and the masculine. Again, the psyche is such that it contains, so it encapsulates, it's in there. It's in there when it contains something. It's in there. You know, like Prego, or was it Ragu? It's in there. One of them, it was in there. And I'm a fan of both of them because I had a whole queen that fed me Ragu all my life, and then a whole Eva maid that started feeding me Prego once I started interacting with her son for those 15 years. The psyche is such that it contains and embraces. So it's in there and it wraps its arms around it. The psyche wraps its arms around it. The psyche embraces it. We don't always, but the psyche does. It embraces both the feminine and the masculine. It is inherently and androgynous. Should I break that down for you? Feminine and masculine. And androgynous, not being able to tell the difference. Androgynous is incorporating all of those characters, not particularly not being able to tell the difference, but incorporating all of those characters together becomes androgyny. And I said not necessarily not being able to tell the difference because I watch a YouTuber, let's go P Valley, because this YouTuber says that Uncle Clifford stole his look, and I say that this Uncle Clifford looks a lot like this YouTuber as far as the androgynous look. Uncle Clifford is androgynous, encapsulates and embraces both characteristics. Does not have to be done in that way. You do not have to stroke some egos over here. The 414. Over here at the 414, sometimes we have to stroke egos. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. It is inherently an androgynous entity, regardless. That means it doesn't matter what the gender of the person. If you're a man, you have an androgynous psyche. It contains masculine and feminine. If you are a woman, you have an androgynous psyche. It contains both masculine and feminine. It is when we do not know what to do with it, or choose not to do with it, or want to be in denial, that thing is out of whack. If we embrace it, if we contain it and embrace it, there be balance that lies there. There be balance that lies there. If not, well then, The psyche compensates for the birthing of a contrasexuality. Let's break it down. Characteristics of the opposite sex in the inner life of the person. The psyche compensates for this birthing. For this by birthing. It compensates, for this by birthing the contrasexuality. It compensates for the fact that when you're born a man, you generally just going to take on masculine tendencies and energy. When you're born a woman, you generally means that there are cases that it's not the case. But generally, the rule is you're going to take on the gender characteristics and traits of the gender that you are. So to compensate for this, the psyche birthed the contrasexuality, which is the characteristics. So since you just going to act all man, I'm going to birth this personality in you that is both woman and man to counter for the fact that you're going to act all man. Since you just want to act all woman, because I was told, I know I'm sensitive, y'all. I'm working on sensitivity, but one thing for sure and two things for certain, I've come a long way. And people that like to call me sensitive are those that do not want to understand that they have their own sensitivity issues. One is extra just as sensitive as me. The other is so insensitive that is still a sensitivity issue. So if I call you sensitive, you're either sensitive one way or sensitive the other way, just like the cinema thing. If you're not balanced on it, then you're imbalanced at it. And if I'm over here working at trying to get balanced, then all that you can do is take a look at mine and not at yours. We're going to talk about that because that goes back to that narcissistic personality. Narcissistic personality, you know? So before I go any further, I just want to, we're going to talk about one of the names that I'm about to, well, not names, but I just want to shout out to the family of the 5 students that were affected, the 5 families that were affected by the tragedies at UVA. 3 families lost their children, and 2, I think, are fighting for their lives, or they may be in stable condition. I'm not quite sure, but just want to keep the family in our thoughts over here because we think about people over here, y'all. We think about people. If you're not thinking about people, then I probably think that you probably at the wrong platform. We think about people whether we want people to do better, or whether people just need a little bit of encouragement because they're going through. I hear a lot of people saying because there's so much going on in our own communities, and there are, and if you're not doing anything in your own community and you complain about what's going on outside of the community in the collective, if you're not working from the inward out, but you're complaining about the collective, there's an issue. But that doesn't mean that the collective doesn't matter. There are families out there that are not going to see their children, and families out there that are hoping that 2 children are going to come home. So thoughts be with those families. Shout out to those families. They're in our thoughts over here. And then to Shanquella Johnson, we're going to talk about that a little bit more because I came to find out that this young lady's death didn't even make national news. This young lady's death happened a whole month ago, man. Happened a whole month ago. And it's just hitting the social medias. It's just social medias, not national news. And the New York Post picked it up because I went. Let me tell you what drove me to go to find out. Because I was at church on yesterday, and my pastor prayed for the guys from UVA, and he did not pray about Shanquella. And I was a little bothered. It's a little perturbed. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. I was a little bothered. Why are we not praying for her? And so later on that day, I went back to, I went to support the choir at a concert they had. And I asked somebody, I said, Pastor prayed for the young man. I said, but he didn't pray for her. And she beat the words out of my mouth. The young girl, yes. What's going on with that? And, she a little still feisty, a little rough around the edges. So She was feeling like me. So I'm like, because I got checks and balances. And I know that I can get into an emotional place. So I need to be outside of my emotions, but I need some clarity. What's going on here? Because that young lady, they keep trying to call this a fight first and foremost. And that young lady didn't pass one punch. She ain't passed one punch. Couldn't have been a fight. You have to contend and combat to fight. You have to contend and combat to fight. She did neither. She said, I'm not going to fight. She said, I'm not going to fight. So when I asked the second person, welcome, y'all. When I asked the second person, she informed me that she didn't believe that it had made local news and national news. She believed that it was something that we were just seeing on social media, and that blew my mind because I thought that when he did not pray about it, I thought that. I was like, yeah, what's really going on? But yes, thoughts and prayers to her family as well. That baby probably just thought she was going to Mexico to have a ball. I can't imagine she didn't think that she was not going to ever come back home again. So we got to think about the people over here. Silly 414. We think about the people over here, y'all. So I just wanted to say that really quickly. So we're going to get on back. We're going to talk about the roles of Anima and Animus for the men's and for the women's. Because you remember I said that this affects, this don't just men, even though this started with you. Like I said, there is a place for women here as well. And it does not just women. It does not just affect your relationship with men vice versa. This affects your relationship with people. This affects your relationship with people as a whole. So the role of Anima and Animus, the inner life of the soul. Relatedness. Relatedness is our ability to relate as a whole. Our ability to relate as whole human beings to the world and other people. When your Anima is off balance, you don't relate well. Said to the world and other people. In order for the relatedness to have an equal measure of heart and mind, the psyche relies on the contra sexuality to compensate for the natural one. One-sidedness of the personality. And I'm going to just show y'all some images real quick of the contra personality. Like, share and subscribe. Please, Polly. Yes. The contra sexuality. The contra. Where did it go? Oh, away. That is the having both characteristics. Let's see if I can find another picture. Both characteristics. Most of them are that picture. Ooh. I mean, that's kind of masculine and feminine there as well. That's another picture that I found. This is one that's the same and similar. It's basically telling you those energies are supposed to come together to be balanced. They're supposed to come together to be balanced. But we determine whether we're going to allow that or not. Animation or spirit. The Anima or Animus plays a significant role in determining how we think and feel about our lives in the innermost chamber of our hearts. It is not what we say, but the spirit we bring to the world that we feel inside ourselves and that others become aware of when we interact, when they interact with us. It's not what we say, but the spirit we bring. We think we can talk a good game. We think that if we say that it's so, I said this before, everybody ain't checking for you. But it's folks out there that can see past your say so. Just because you say that it's so doesn't mean that it's so. Doesn't mean that it's so. It's just what you said. Actions, though, mean that it's so. The archetype of the anema and anemas forms a bridge between our personal unconscious and our personal unconscious and what Jung refers to as the collective unconscious. And we started talking about that as well last week. The personal unconscious is you, your dark side, your shadow that you have to work on. The collective unconscious is that of societies, which you cannot effectively examine if you have not worked on personal. But there is a bridge. There is a bridge. That bridge has to start with going inside and walking out. You got to walk to the bridge or you got to drive to it. It don't come to you because they don't move. But something on the other side of that bridge is moving in your direction, but you have to get to the bridge. You got to do the work, baby. You got to do the work. The anema and anemas is the image-making capacity which we use to draw inspirational, creative, and intuitive images from the inner world. Strictly speaking, the transpersonal inner world. So I gave you a little bit about anema. Gave you a little bit about narcissism. That's what that was. I had 3 Bible verses that I wanted to read, and also I said what I was gonna say about narcissism. That's that fragile. I thought I had something else to say, but I apologize for that. Anywho. But these are the 3 Bible verses that I got to go with this discussion that we have. Proverbs 21:2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the heart. So I have been speaking to a friend, telling this friend, you need to rest, you need to rest, you need to rest. The Most High wants you to rest. You keep running. Your mind is racing. And you have one thing at the forefront of your mind. Anything that you have at the forefront of your mind, if it's at the forefront of your mind and you keep your mind consistently on it, you can't go concentrate on the Most High if you believe in the Most High. But guess what? Even if you don't, if you are concentrating particularly on something that is stressful, guess what? You're stressing yourself out, which means that your energy level stays down here. It never goes up. So we can make this about a God, or we can make this just about you, baby. Either way, the work has to be done, because guess what? If you're a Christian, then the Bible says that God has given you everything you need according to life and godliness. So God said, you got this. I gave you the power. And I changed my meditation word. I didn't change the word. I just changed the form of the word, because I was meditating on the word power in accordance with this solar plexus. No. Now it's dunamis. Yeah, go check that word out. It's dunamis. That part. Then I have Surah Al-Furqan 35 and 43. Have you seen the one who takes as his God his own desires? Then would you be responsible for him? What are you gonna do with somebody's desires, with someone whose desires are their God? They're not thinking about nothing else but what they desire. And then lastly, we have 1 Maccabees 4 and 17. And said to the people, be not greedy of the spoil, inasmuch as there is a battle before us. Because they was in this battle. and they saw that spoil, and they put their eyes solely on the spoils because they started thinking about who? Themselves, and getting all the spoils. They wanted to get all the spoils. When you get all the spoils and ain't nobody called quit or the end or fight's over, that means you're still in the battle. So if you over here with your forefront of your mind on all these spoils, guess what? You about to get got, baby. You about to get got because you made it all about you and the Benjamins. All about you and the Benjamins. And that's not the way any of that is supposed to work, dear heart. It's not the way any of that is supposed to work. So, I watched, and I was supposed to be watching, but I don't believe that I'm done. I haven't even begun to speak about it, but I do not believe that I'm done speaking about Shaquilla Johnson. Because I was supposed to watch a new podcast that I'm following, that I just started following. I said that I was going to make Shaquilla my first watching of hers. But I started watching Nosy Bystander. I love the Nosy Bystander. I do. Shout out to the Nosy Bystander. She has been talking about the LaTruths. Let's talk LaTruth about the CONTRAS. Them characteristics of the opposite sex. When your anema is off balance, they show through. Oh, honey, do they show through? Ooh. Welcome. Like, share, and subscribe. And again, I caught 414. It made me come in close. God, I'm backed everything up a little bit, y'all. Backed everything up. And I still saw that 414. Numbers been coming like wildfire. But she's speaking about the LaTruths. The first thing that she said is the wife, Brianna, should not get into a new relationship. Oh, so often. Oh, and I never get over you until I find someone new to get me high like you do. Oh, and I never get over you until I find someone new to get me high like you do. We get out of one, we just want to bounce to another. We get out of one, we just want to bounce to another. We get out of one, we just want to bounce to another. And we never, ever, ever take one look, one glance, one peep at our psyches to make sure that it made it through the relationship okay. We just want to comfort our emotions and the dopamine. We have our needs at the forefront of our mind. So when your needs, it's not even particularly a need, excuse me, I'm using the wrong word. When your desires, because this is the desires, we have our desires at the forefront of our mind. And when your desire becomes a hindrance, she says she doesn't need to get into another relationship. Her psyche is not ready. Those were Nosy Bystander's words. Her psyche is not ready. But we think it. This go to the men and the women. Catch it. Catch it. This go to the men and the women. We feel as though in our emotions, out of one, and they're not even out of a relationship. They're still married. And it's I think it's said that there may be another guy. But when you're coming out of an emotional place to go right back into that same place and believe that you are going to find a different outlook, welcome, 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 y'all. To think that you're going to find a different outlook when you have not done any work on yourself. You just, everything that you felt about that relationship that you left, you felt was going to be better when you went and found another person, but you were taking the same person from that relationship to this one. We talking the truth. We talking the truth. I'm guilty. I am guilty of being in emotional relationships. And while I have not been in a lot of relationships, my psyche was not ready to transfer from one to another. And that is why when I released from out of that marriage, I sat back and learned how to begin to get my psyche in order. Because we be thinking we be okay. We be thinking we be okay because we make a lot of money. And we can go buy what we want, and we can wear what we want, and we can go on vacations. And then you go in the house and keep every TV on in the house because you can't stand the noise of being alone with yourself. Self-work is self-care, y'all. Self-work is self-care. If you are not willing to look at yourself, that shows how much you care about yourself. So to take yourself that you haven't looked at out of this relationship, and we're going to talk a little bit more about her in this relationship, and to go into another one, you're going to take that mind frame, that thought process that you have in this relationship, you're going to take it to that next man. Because the nosy bystander is, while she is calling the man out, that's what I like. I like somebody to call you out as well as call you up or shout you out when you right. She said that Mr. LaTruth, this part, because this to me is where we come with the contrasexuality, with the characteristics of the opposite sex. Because that was a very, very sensitive statement for Mr. LaTruth to make, that if you are going to post about their relationship, make sure that it's positive. When you guys, however people speculate your relationship, when you put yourself on social media, you put yourself on a public platform where everybody is, and then you try to control how they narrate what you've put out. And you're not even talking about people talking lies. You just want people to talk about the positive, even if you talk about the negative. How does any of that work? How do you get to come up here and say what you want to say, but then I can't say what I want to say about what you want to say on public social media? Come on, man. Come on, man. That don't work. The work is not working. The thought process is not thought processing. The sense is not sensing, sir. That part. It is not. And I cannot, Dawn. In my Jocelyn Hernandez voice, I cannot, Dawn. I cannot. With these people. With these people. Now, Nosy Bystander went on to say that Brianna wanted her husband to be submissive to her and submissive for her. Now, I know at least the husband is a practicing Christian. And I know it was said that she took digs at him about the fact that he was struggling with his faith. And I just said that in the beginning. Some days you're going to struggle. Some days you're going to struggle. She's sitting on social media struggling on her lives. But you would talk about somebody who's struggling in their faith. But when she said that the young lady wanted her husband to be submissive to and for her? Or as my mind went back to his last week, you guys, under his wife's slipper. Not where you're supposed to be. Not where you're supposed to be. Your husband is not supposed to be under your slipper. I get to talk about husbands because I had one. I don't care if I'm divorced. I self-analyzed after I divorced. What a lot of women refuse to do, especially when cheating is their divorce, they just feel like that man was all the way wrong and they have no analysis of themselves to do. Wrong, zero, zilch. I self-analyzed that my ex-husband did a whole lot of cheating. Still had to self-analyze because I was a partner in that marriage. That's about like that daggone strawberry lady. That woman came up there and called her daughter all kinds of heifers, talking about all the spoiling that your husband is doing to that heifer. But ain't she your daughter? Didn't you raise her too? Y'all, it's very, very far and few in between that I agree with Steve Harvey on that strawberry letter. I agree with Steve Harvey about many things. You talking about, and then talking about she messed it up between you and your husband because she got into it with your sister at a restaurant, made your sister lose her job. But then come to find out that you and your husband is roommates in the same house. Y'all been roommates for years. You're roommates. Your daughter ain't had nothing to do with you being your husband's roommate. That is a pass the bucker if ever there was one. That's a pass the bucker if ever there was one. I'm just saying. Your husband is not supposed to be under your slipper. Am I saying that the way that life was run in married homes back with our grandmothers and their mothers was all the way the right way? No. But to think that you're in a home with a man and that man is supposed to feel less than a man because you feel more than a woman, guess what, contrasexuality, lady? That's you on the wrong side of anema. That's you exhibiting too many male characteristics. They're there. They say that for the woman, it's the rationale. It's the fact that, when a woman is very, very overly sensitive, that's the wrong side of anema. The anema is meant to bring you to balance and to rationalize your emotions, to be rational in your emotions. Whereas in the man, it's when he is irrational about many things in the anema, like compassion. He's very, very insensitive and very, very not compassionate and things like that. The anema is meant to bring him to balance. That's the whole purpose of it. It's your psyche. It's important. It controls your life. She says, she talked about persona, buddy, and the persona and the anema and the narcissism. They all go hand in hand. Because it's the bad persona that brings on the narcissism that does not allow you to see that you should be balanced, androgynous, male and female on the inside of your psyche. She says the LaTruths are entertainers, so you see what they show you, which is rarely real. That's persona. The mask, the facade, the what I want you to see. I want you to see what looks good. I want you to see what feels good. I want you to see what I want you to see. But she also went on to say that Brianna is not working really well in her persona at this time. You seeing the real her. Yeah. She over here and totally somewhere about that anema. And she got to come back to balance. But it's very hard to do when you want clicks and pay. And it's nothing wrong with clicks and likes, clickbait, when you're doing clickbait. It's nothing wrong with clicks and likes. As I said, these are social media platforms. They're meant to be grown. But I never think that it is, I'm never going to think it's wise to make money off of your pain and your immaturity and your like this realer than the Housewives, and you know that was entertainment, and this is probably entertainment too, but so much more of this is people's real lives because this YouTube, y'all, like I could pinch myself and I'm gonna cry right now because I'm live. It's just not a game right now. Like if I scratch myself hard enough, I'm gonna say ouch. I'm live. And we are so out of touch with our personal unconscious that we are taken up by the collective and don't know what to do with it. Alls that the collective say is right, you think is right. And alls that the collective say is wrong, you think is wrong because you will not go inside to look at yourself to learn how to think for yourself. IJS. 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 And Nosy also went on to say that she believes that Mr. LaTruth should sue his ex-wife if they become divorced because she said that she believes wholeheartedly. I haven't been following the story. I'm going to get more into that story. But she believes wholeheartedly that that young woman has ruined his image. That's slander. She's made it where he can't go out there and make the money that he was making. Why would you want to do that? Like, why you want to mess up somebody's bag? While over here we talk about that the bag ain't supposed to be at the forefront of your mind because whatever's at the forefront of your mind cannot leave room for anything higher. But dang, you still got to get a bag. Why you want the man not to be able to get his bag? Come on now, baby. Come on now. All right, so I have not watched that video. They talking like their videos out. They're talking like there are videos getting swept off of the internet with this stuff. Welcome y'all, Shanquella Johnson. She went with her friends to Cabo, Mexico, and she did not come back. Her friends came back. They told her parents she had alcohol poisoning. Like they went, I believe that it was said that they went, the parents, the dad came and picked them up from the airport. They went to their house. They ate. They told this young lady's parents that she died of alcohol poisoning, and it came to find out that she died of blunt force trauma, like her neck got broke. They showed the video with this young lady just pounding on her. There's so much stuff going out. People want to be saying that the young lady may be trans and all of this stuff. Like people want to be saying that they were broke and she was paying for friends and all of this stuff like that. All of that is irrelevant because that young lady is no longer with us. And whoever did it is guilty. And while they're saying that the young lady who was doing the beating didn't throw the fatal blow, it could be believed that both of because she fought two people. Two people fought on her because she ain't fight nobody. The second young lady slammed her on her neck, and that's what broke her neck. Those people were not in touch with the balance of their emotions because there was no thought process to any of this. They're questioning whether it was a conspiracy that came out of America and went into Mexico, or if this was just something that happened there. You have young men talking about fight back. I'm challenged to call them young men. I am challenged to call them young men and not just call them boys. Because y'all let that go down. There was nothing manly about that. Nor was there anything friendly about that. So nobody in that group was that young lady's friend because the friend would not have let it go down. The friend would not have let it go down. I was supposed to be looking up feminitude, and I never got around to looking up feminitude, so I'm not really going to discuss feminitude until I can go in and do my own study about it. The lead attorney says that he believes that people are saying that this was a trans person that did it so women won't get the heat. And I'm gonna say this. Y'all know that this is what this platform all about. We is the platform that will give women the heat over here, because I am the person that believes that right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you're doing wrong, I don't care what your gender is. We're not protecting you over here because you're a woman. We're not. But let me say what I will say, because I believe that I am saying something so very wholeheartedly different than what the masses are saying about these two young women. And I implore anybody, this sound like the preacher in me. I implore anybody under the sound of my voice, have a talk with the Most High, because right now everybody is emotional and everybody trying to send these young ladies to Mexico to be punished. And I understand what went on, and I understand why y'all think it's all right for them to go to Mexico. But do y'all understand what these young ladies will be facing? These young ladies will be facing if they go to prison in Mexico. Now, the word is that if they conspired in the United States, that there's the opportunity for them to get time in the United States. That is what I am speaking to the Most High about. That's what I'm speaking to the Most High about. So there, I said it. I put it in the air. I'm against the grain. I'm generally against the grain. I'm not a champion for these young ladies going over there to serve time in Mexico, because they're not going to. Everybody that's talking about them going to Mexico, every podcaster that I have watched that talked about the if of these young women, because them young men, they ain't getting no time for saying fight back. This is two young women that's going to potentially have to go over there, and ain't no telling what they're going to do to them in the Mexican prisons. But nobody seems to think they will ever make it back to America. So never once did you hear Sylvie say, don't punish the gals? Come on my post, you want to. Acting like I'm saying don't punish the gals. Even if I post a clip that might sound like it's something thrown off, you better come watch this whole live. Did I just say that? Lord. Somebody came for my neck off of a clip. And y'all, I said that because so many people came for Kevin's neck off of clips. Kevin Samuels. Black women. Y'all was coming for his neck off the clips, and nobody never went to watch any of his lives. Don't come for my neck off of a clip if you're not coming to watch this live. Period. Can I give you what you asked for? I am a work in progress. Don't mess with me. I won't mess with you. Yeah. I'm going to end on that note, because I really want to, with the next things that the lead in them was talking about, that boy Will was on the lead. He was either on the lead or Night and Day. That boy Will, he was one of the guests on the show. And he basically said that America is self-centered. Americans are self-centered. And one of the articles is crazy. One of the articles that I didn't go into that article. Yeah, I did. That's where I got my material. The title was basically the difference between being centered and self-centered. Centered is balance. Self-centered is everything revolves around me, and I am in the center, and it is all about myself. And I am so much better than you. And I am up here, and you are down there, you peasant. But then I go home and I sink into myself. I really don't feel like I'm worth anything. I don't think I'm better than them. I don't even think I'm as good as they are. I just really feel like a big nothing. But if I let them know that I feel like a big nothing, then they're going to think I'm a big nothing as well. That's all in your brain. Let's get out your brain. Get out your head. Get out your brain. Get out your head. I love you. Sylvie is out, y'all. Oh, that's not a touch screen. I love you.